Go to question one, two. Go.
Yeah, barbers tend to get a bad name from those who charge a little less or those who treat their customers inconveniently. But truthfully, can't remember what was the question.
Do you feel it's more of an interaction with the barber or more of the structure of society?
Yeah, it's both really, because the structure, barbers have always been well respected. If you go back to medieval times, they were doctors. They did dentistry work. They did everything. So it's the structure's there. Like people will go and they'll learn to trust people to deal with this stuff, just as they trust a doctor, just as they trust a dentist, just as they trust a surgeon. So the structure's there. The structure will always be there because that's what we've learned. We pass that on as tradition. In terms of interaction, just creates that individual relationship with your barber, that loyalty, that level of loyalty.
But do you think this misconception has come because as we have dealt with in our class with a lot of gender, like there's some things that females are expected to do that males are expected to do. Like males are expected to play sports and all that, and there's some guidelines that if you want to be a man now that you have to be macho. Do you think that since art as a whole, art is an aspect of society that is considered to be either abstract or that, do you feel like some of the misconception could be that no matter how much regulation you have, as even described by the Service Canada, where it says in the end of the day it comes to artistic flair, do you feel like that could also hinder barbers? Because do you think like words such as you're not being creative enough with my hair or you're not stepping up, does that ever come into play or not really?
Uh, well, it just is. There's always somebody that can do it for you. That's the thing about it. So, if I can't perform to the level that somebody wants me to perform at, they'll go to somebody else. So, I have to take my time and I have to figure out exactly what the person wants of me, the client, and I have to do my best ability. I gotta do it to the best of my ability to get them looking that way. If I can't do it, then they'll move on. It's just as simple as that.
So you don't feel like do you ever try to do what, like, let's say like magazines like GQ or all of those guys, you know how like they put extra emphasis like clean shaven guys, or even like Guinness Books of World Records, as you know, like Troy Polamalu, his hair is
Troy Polamalu?
Yeah, his hair is his hair is like worth $1 million, or the world fastest haircut 55 seconds, or the guy who cut 600.
I saying, do I feel any pressure?
Like, do you feel like when you see like these kinds of information through the magazines, like all these different like one guy hair is worth $1 million,
Well, just
or something?
emphasizes to me that it's just the importance of hair and the hair industry. I can't tell you how much it grosses, but I think it's up there with some of the most important, or not the most important, but most expensive, and that just shows you the level of power it has. Because we break down in our humans, as we are right now, we place a lot of importance on money, monetary value, and all that, and that brings you power. So, with all the emphasis on money and power, that shows you like his hair is worth $1 million. For them to price it like that, and $1 million, to me, $1 million isn't enough for a head of hair. People pay, there's hair transplants, people pay millions to get that replaced. So to me it's irreplaceable. There's no price that you could really put on it. That's almost like slavery, putting a price on his hair. But yeah, it's powerful. That's all I can really say. Like, it's so powerful.
With like even like the 640 haircuts,
Yeah,
and all those.
That's different to me, but
But same kind of power, right? Like
yeah,
just
it's
like the
power.
power of hair. And you say the power of hair, but as we know with the gender body, it seems that more hair products are geared towards females. Are you trying to make the point that we should, when we're talking about hair in popular culture or even in society, that male hair might be just as important or even maybe just a bit more emphasized than females?
It's a misconception because males do care more about their hair than females, because you'll see males more consistently get a haircut than females. So
On average, like back in Montreal when you were working, you were
it's
saying
once a week at least.
like how many haircuts, how many clients would you usually get a week at times when you're working?
I'm not sure, but like when you got a consistent client though, a consistent client base, they come every week. Every week.
No matter,
I've
no matter
like
what.
I've seen people do it like two to three times a week, just cause they want to maintain that look.
And do you think that maintenance comes from like from your work, or do you think this comes from something that's regulated? Because we know sometimes, like you know, when like you have cut kids. I remember like on Saturday afternoons and
Yeah.
mornings or Friday night, my mom would force me to come in. So and I know that due to all of us having like similar upbringing, that it was the job of the parents to make sure that you were in line. And one of the ways to look civilized or be part of this society was to get your haircut. Do you feel like it's a manifestation of that, or do you think it's something of a self look in the mirror? Because we do know, like after 18 months, a baby can make adjustments to how he views himself or herself.
It's inbred almost, but it is also put on by your parents. And during those stages, early stages, for you to maintain a clean look. But it's something else about just changing, just looking in the mirror, and then 30 minutes later, look in the mirror again, and it's just not the same person. Like it's almost like it's it's a rebirth of yourself type thing. So it does have somewhat to do with your upbringing, your parents and whatnot, but it's an inbred thing to look in the mirror at yourself, look away, because I turn my clients away from the mirror all the time, just because it brings that level of satisfaction, that level of excitement, that happiness when I turn them back around and they look a certain way. So it's almost inbred that you'll just be surprised and you'll be in awe that wow, like this is what I look like that's why people want to keep that appearance so consistent and so often.
Do you think people enjoy the haircut? Because you know how also in society we like to keep max and macerate, like we like to hide behind. Are you trying to say that maybe the person wants to have that max of being clean, being regulated?
Depends on the person. Some people go for that. Some people, everybody has their own intentions when it comes down to doing whatever they do in life. Not even just a haircut, just whatever they do. They always have their intentions. So there's no real clear cut answer I could give you about that. But what I can tell you is, yeah, people like to maintain things and people like to feel comfortable within themselves. That's what, when people learn to understand themselves and are comfortable with themselves, then they can do great things. So. You blessed?
And I guess the last one I can ask you is that because in our sociology of the body class, there wasn't a lot of mention per se about hair, like only on the female side. Do you think it is possible?
On the female side?
Yeah, it was on. Do you think like it is possible that like this interview could shed a light on